Hey everyone, it is Sunday, October 1st. The time right now is around 2:25 p.m. and the temperature is 24 degrees Celsius. And I am here just north of the intersection of Yonge and St Clair, and I'm recording this one on the iPhone 15 Pro. And since for some reason Apple doesn't allow us to switch between the front and rear cameras on the default iOS camera app, I'm starting this one off with the selfie view. And you'll notice I'm rocking a Blue Jay cap for this one. I don't normally wear a hat, but last night, with the loss of the Seattle Mariners, the Blue Jays clinched a wildcard playoff spot, which is great. Also, I'm kind of having a bad hair day. So in a second, I'll be getting up and going for a walk. And for this one, I'll be heading south, I think about 3 kilometers or so, down to the intersection of Yonge and Bloor. All right, let's get moving here. So I've got the camera flipped around. And this here is Yonge Street. And there's a look north, up towards Yonge and Eglinton, where I live. Give us a good chance to check out the 3x zoom on this. And it is an extremely nice day. Better make sure I have my external audio recording. All right, we are good to go. That's the York Minster Baptist Church, just on the left there. And this is just the second time ever I've used the iPhone to do one of these pre-recorded walks. I've done a few live streams with the 15 Pro. There seems to be a fire truck making its way up north. Hopefully nothing too serious is going on. And as I mentioned, I'm just using the default iOS camera app. I was playing around with the Blackmagic app. I think in the next one I record with this phone, I'll be using that app, and that app does allow me to switch the camera between the front and the rear. And the Blue Jays will be playing in a little under an hour from now, along with all the other teams in Major League Baseball. On the final day, they all play at the same time. Although the Jays had a chance to clinch the playoffs with a win yesterday, but they lost. But fortunately, at least for them, the Mariners lost, which granted the Jays a AL wildcard spot. They'll be playing their first 3 playoff games on the road. Or rather, the first series will be on the road. We'll see how the iPhone handles this colorful mural here. There it is in wide angle. Although I think I'll still be using the Pocket 2 for most of these walks moving forward, at least until the Pocket 3 comes out. I definitely prefer how discreet that camera is. This one tends to turn a lot more head since it's so much bigger and more noticeable. And I took the subway from Eglinton down to St. Clair here. And it was packed with Blue Jays fans. And you can enter St. Clair Station just on the left here. And this would be the intersection of Yonge and St. Clair, where you will not see streetcars running anytime soon. There's some track work going on. So they're running buses in place of the streetcars. To the west. And the buses drop you off just in front of the station there. And I wonder how that works if you're on your 2-hour transfer period. You have 2 hours between your first and last taps, but the bus lets you off outside of the station. So if you tapped in and then tapped off or got off the bus and 2 hours had expired and you had to go into the subway, you'd have to tap in again, charging you an extra $3 and change. But if you're on the streetcar, it would have taken you right into the station where you wouldn't have to tap back in. I have no idea if you talk to the person at the booth if they would let you in under those circumstances, or if it's a too bad, so sad situation. If you do know the answer to that, let me know down in the comments. So at the north end of this walk is Deer Park, and I'll be passing through Summerhill. And past Rosedale Station, and Yonge and Bloor is right at the north end of downtown. Daily deals. Today is Sunday. 4-ounce signature burger, $7.50.
You gotta be over here. Huh? You gotta be over here.
Over there?
Yeah.
And this will be mostly downhill, just up ahead here from Rosedale Avenue, all the way down to about where Rosedale Station is at Crescent. I think I'll cross over to the other side just to see how the iPhone handles walking in the shadows a bit versus the sun, and you get a slightly better view of the north end of downtown, where that pharmacy is across the street. There's plans to redevelop that building. And a lot of the NIMBYs in this area have brought out their pitchforks. A lot of the locals here were also really opposed to these bike lanes, which fortunately City Council voted to make permanent. There's plans for a 41-story building. Toronto developers destroying our community one step at a time. Well, if you're not going to build a dense high-rise with a lot of housing on a main corridor like this, right on a subway line with dedicated bike lanes, where are you going to build it? I think the bigger issue is making sure some of those units are actually within reach of the average person living here, at least financially. But we need housing, and I think it's extremely out of touch to say that keeping a building like this around is preserving the neighborhood. It is possible to move forward, although I do think there should be laws in place to protect the commercial tenants and offer them a comparable space at a comparable rent in the new location, as well as paying for their temporary relocation. It's often the smaller and independent businesses that get screwed when a property is redeveloped. All right, I'm going to try walking with wide angle for a little bit here. Might be a little more immersive. And there is just a hint of that fisheye effect, I think. I like wide angle on the bike and scooter live streams. I'm not sure for regular walking videos if it's really that good. Okay, let's flip back. That's enough of that experiment. You can let me know down in the comments if you preferred that or not. It's always a little quiet through this stretch of Yonge Street. And this is Woodlawn Avenue. Oh, look at that thing. Hey, we found people. That motorcycle has a GoPro, or the rider has a GoPro mounted to his helmet. Give a fig about your skin. There's a New Balance store here. It's kind of interesting, if you go into that store, they don't have a fraction of their product line that you can find online. There's always a great view looking south from this spot here. And just in on the left is the Summerhill subway station. I use the bike lane and you can just ride right on the sidewalk. There's what I think is the flagship LCBO. It's a provincially run liquor store. In the old North Toronto rail station. Take a little peek inside. There's a cold beer fridge just over on the left, and just over here, there's a craft beer section. There's all kinds of vintage liquors and that sort of thing there. You'll find a lot of stuff you won't find at other LCBOs. There's a fountain that's going to tip over in a second. Any second now. Playful, I really like it. There's another view of the former train station, now liquor store. And the CP rail tracks. There's a patio at a restaurant I would not even attempt to pronounce the name of. So it's back to the sunny side of the street. On the right used to be a Staples. That store moved up north to Yonge and Eglinton. There's plans for a 13-story building on that lot, which will incorporate the facade, which is quite interesting. There's a lot of really nice tree-lined streets. Coming off Yonge Street on both sides, and those leaves look like they've already just started to change colors. And this is Roxborough Street West coming up. There's a patio over there at the Firkin. Guy just blatantly on his phone.
It'd be impossible to get up. And this is Gibson. It's a really nice street. And Rosedale subway station is just across the street. Ramsden Park is right here on the right. I think the last time I recorded a walk down here early in the summer, there was a farmer's market going on in the park. There's one more subway stop to go, then we're at Yonge and Bloor.
And this is Belmont Street coming up. And that tall tower in the center of the shot is Yonge Bloor East, and on the southwest corner of Yonge and Bloor. You can hear my keys jingling in my pocket. I'm going to try to quiet them up a bit. There you go. I think that'll shut them up. It's turning around just for me. It's a pretty sweet ride, obviously. The license plate was AHI, A-H-I. I would not be surprised if he was going to go cruise around Yorkville. He's a highly visible cyclist. And coming up will be Davenport, and on the left Church Street. We're just a few minutes from Yonge and Bloor and downtown now. Oh, I've seen this guy before.
Canadian Tire is against abortion. Canadian Tire is against abortion.
That'll change people's opinions on things. Just ride around the city on your bike, yelling like a maniac. Those people were talking about that guy. All right, we're gonna head over to the east side again. And this is the northern terminus of Church Street. And over there, the Masonic Temple, also known as the Opera House. And I've mentioned this before, but that's where I saw my first ever concert back in April of '96. I saw the Foo Fighters. And a little bit later, I saw the Gin Blossoms there with Dishwalla opening for them. Sadly, these bike lanes end in a few blocks, just south of Bloor Street. I quite like this condo on the right. It's not your typical all-glass facade. We even worked in some balconies. And they've done a good job at preserving the facade of the retail at street level. I think that's a pretty good example of getting it right for the most part. And they don't look like giant retail spots that would typically attract bigger corporate entities. So that's a good thing. Well, I guess time will tell when we see who moves in. On the left is the reference library. It's waving at someone. And if I was to do a part 2 of this walk, I would keep walking south all the way down to the lake. There's an entrance to Line 2 subway platform. And a look up at the progress of Yonge Bloor West. The Norman Foster design tower going up. That may or may not be the tallest in the city when all is said and done. It's in a height war with the one on the south end of Yonge Street. Here we are, Yonge and Bloor. And often at the end of these ones, I would walk right into the subway station with my camera. But with this phone on the gimbal, it's a lot more noticeable. So I think we'll sign off on the street. And the Ultras have done really well on this one. Probably the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned, actually. Quite pleased with them. But I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. There is a super thanks button appearing below the video if you wish to say thanks that way. And I think that's about it, eh? All right, I'm gonna flip the camera around. There we go. Thank you for watching. Go Jays go, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink. Hey everyone, it is Sunday, October 1st. The time is 2:22 p.m. and the temperature right now is around 24 degrees Celsius. And I'm here just north of the intersection of Yonge and St Clair. And for this one, I'll be recording it with the iPhone 15 Pro. And since for some reason Apple doesn't allow us to switch between the front view and the rear-facing cameras midstream, or I guess mid-video as a noisy motorbike races across the street,